A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I want A+ English.
Hi everyone and welcome back to A+ English. I'm Pat.
I'm Elsie.
And we're on day 2 of our visit to Chicago, the windy city, where it isn't windy.
It's not windy at all.
But the politicians do talk a lot of hot air. So that's going to lead us, as we go into our day 2 of things to see and do in Chicago, to our second warm-up question. Which kind of museum do you like best? Art, science, or history? And why?
If I really need to choose, I would say science museums.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Because I can have some hands-on experience in them.
Yeah, you do tend to do things
Yes.
more in a science museum. I do like a good history museum, though. I am interested in history. I love seeing all the old stuff. So, yeah, science or history, it's probably a tie. I'll go with history as my choice because it's just fascinating to see all that stuff. But what kind of museums and other things can we see in Chicago? Let's read through day 2 and find out more.
A visit to Chicago, the Windy City. Warm-up question. Which kind of museum do you like best? Art, science, or history? Why?
The Art Institute of Chicago is a museum with almost 300,000 pieces. 2 famous pictures there are Pablo Picasso's Old Guitarist and Grant Wood's American Gothic. Head north on the Chicago L train to Wrigley Field. It's the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team. Beautiful ivy grows on Wrigley Field's red brick walls. Try Chicago's special and delicious foods, too. Deep dish pizza has a thick crust. Try it at Pizzeria Uno or Lou Malnati's restaurants. Chicago hot dogs use only beef and have many toppings on them, but never ketchup. Chicago's a wonderful city for culture, art, sports, and food. It has something for everyone.
The article says, the Art Institute of Chicago is a museum with almost 300,000 pieces.
哇，这边讲到的是芝加哥艺术博物馆，然后我们看到呢 ，It's a museum with almost 300,000 pieces。介系词 with 在这边做一个后位修饰，代表有……。
Right, we could say the UK is a country with 4 smaller countries inside it. Okay, and we're talking about here with 300,000 art pieces.
是的，30万件的 art pieces， 这里代表的是艺术品作品。
Yeah, it's basically a piece could be a painting, a statue, a drawing, whatever it happens to be, one piece of art. And you can use piece for writing as well. The poet wrote a short piece about her recent trip to the countryside. So, a poem. So let's move on to what's in this museum. We see 2 famous pictures there are Pablo Picasso's Old Guitarist and Grant Wood's American Gothic.
哇，这边有2幅有名的画作，一个是毕卡索的老吉他手，还有就是格兰特伍德的美国歌德式。
Okay, you can check those out online if you want to see what they look like. Let's move on now. The article says, head north on the Chicago L train to Wrigley Field.
OK， 那这边呢，我们先看到 head 这个动词哦。好，这边不是当名词解释，是动词，怎么使用它呢？我们来看一下吧。 Head 这里呢，当动词解释代表是前往，那前往哪个方向？你可以把那个方向方位加在后面，像是这边说到的 head north， 那就是往北走。当然，如果是 head south 往南走 ，head east 往东走 ，head west 往西走。那你问人家说，你要去哪里啊？除了说 Where are you going 之外，你也可以说 Where are you heading？ I'm heading home， 那就代表我要回家了。那单字例句给的是呢 ，After the movie was over, we all headed to the night market. 电影结束之后啊，我们所有人前往夜市。
Or you could say, I'm pretty tired. I'm going to head home. Now, in this case, to head north in Chicago, you take the L train.
The Chicago L train 那就是芝加哥的捷运 and it's elevated, right? 它是在地面上的，不是在地下。所以呢，我们用到 elevated 这个高架的，不在地面上的字。
Right, and that's why it's got the name L train. Elevated does begin with the letter E, but because it's an EL sound, L, it still becomes the L train. And of course, it's up in the air, like the MRT Brown Line or parts of the Red Line.
是的 So head north 往北走，你可以到瑞格利球场。
And what is this place? Well, some of you sports fans might know this one already. It's the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team.
Home 这里当的是主场哦，所以瑞格利球场啊，它是芝加哥小熊队的主场。
Yeah, since we're mentioning sports teams from cities, the City Ground is the home of my soccer team, Nottingham Forest. So, we've got Wrigley Field. It's not just going there to see the baseball games. It's a pretty famous and interesting place too. The article says, beautiful ivy grows on Wrigley Field's red brick walls. Who is this Ivy? I would like to meet her.
It's not a person.
Oh.
Ivy 这边是一种植物，叫做常春藤，所以你在那边可以看到常春藤。
Right. It's a kind of climbing plant. It's like a vine, so instead of being a tree, it sort of goes quite long. You see a lot of old trees and walls with ivy growing on it. The tree's trunk is covered with ivy, we might say.
And here the ivy grows on the brick walls. Brick 这个字什么意思呢？ Let's find out.Brick 这个名词呢，代表砖。那如果我们要建造一个砖制的房子，那就是 build a brick house。或是你要说红砖房也行。那如果呢要建造一个红砖墙 ，you build a brick wall。那给同学们一个例句咯 ，The fireplace was made of bricks， 代表壁炉啊是用红砖制成的。或者是还有什么可以用红砖制成呢？像是烟囱 ，The chimney was made of bricks， 烟囱是用红砖制的。那单字例句给的是呢 ，The big wolf couldn't blow down the little pig's brick house， 大野狼没有办法把小猪的砖房给吹倒。
So actually, these days, a lot of modern buildings aren't made with bricks. But if you go and see a lot of older houses, they will be made with bricks. And they're often red because that's the color of the clay they are often made from.
没错。
So yeah, it's a great old building to check out, Wrigley Field.
是的，所以课文说到的是美丽的常春藤就是长在那边的红砖墙上。
And if you're going to watch a baseball game, you'll definitely want a snack. So the article says, try Chicago's special and delicious foods too.
食物也要试试看的，所以有怎么样的芝加哥食物是我们一定要试的呢？
Right, what are these foods? Well, the first one we have deep dish pizza has a thick crust.
Thick crust, crust 代表是饼皮，那这个 deep dish pizza 就是深盘 pizza， 它有松厚的饼皮 ，it's different.
Yeah, it is quite different. It's almost like a cake, almost it seems to me. Some people like pizza with a thin crust. Some pizzas have a thick crust. Some pizzas have a crust that has cheese or sauce inside. We can also use crust for the outside part of a loaf of bread. But where shall we get this deep dish pizza? The article says, try it at Pizzeria Uno or Lou Malnati's restaurants.
你可以到这两间餐厅吃吃看他们的深盘 pizza。
Okay, so what's another special food? Chicago hot dogs use only beef and have many toppings on them, but never ketchup.
Topping 指的是配料。
So they will have mustard, they'll have onions, they'll have different things. No ketchup. It's kind of a thing there. What are our favorite pizza toppings?
Pepperoni, onion,
Okay.
pepper,
Okay.
cheese.
More cheese, yeah.
Tomatoes?
Mushrooms, I like mushrooms on a
yes.
pizza. Olives, I always like on a pizza.
I don't like olives.
Pineapple, I'm one of those who
Really?
Yeah, I definitely want some pineapple
You're very
on
different.
a pizza. Yeah. Okay, so we've got another word power word to look at in this sentence, and it's the one you can't put on a Chicago hot dog.
Ketchup 指的就是番茄酱啦，那它是个蘸酱，不可数哦。所以呢，人家可能问你 ，Do you want some ketchup with your fries？ 你的薯条要不要加番茄酱啊？那除了番茄酱这种酱料之外，还有像是 yellow mustard 黄芥末酱、honey mustard 蜂蜜芥末酱，还有像是 barbecue sauce， 这些都是很火红的蘸酱。那蘸酱的英文就是 dipping sauce。单字例句给的是呢 ，For snack, Tracy ate French fries with ketchup. Tracy 吃了薯条搭配番茄酱当做点心。
So, ketchup can make most foods taste better, but definitely don't put it on a Chicago hot dog, or the Chicagoans will tell you to get out.
所以芝加哥热狗是用牛肉做的，然后不能沾番茄酱。
Exactly. It's a good thing. So the article keeps going and says, Chicago's a wonderful city for culture, art, sports, and food. Now, which one of these are we going to look at as our word power?
Culture. Culture 这个名词呢，代表文化、文艺。那我们学英文呢，也要了解他们的文化，像是呢 American culture。美国的文化 British culture， 英国的文化都是我们要熟悉的。那流行文化呢，我们说的是 popular 或者是 pop culture。For example, my friends and I went to Turkey and learned a lot about its history and culture. 代表我们去了土耳其，并了解很多它的历史还有文化。那单字例句给的是呢 There's not much culture in this small town. The city has music and art.Though 这个小镇没有什么文艺气息，那座城市呢则富有音乐和艺术。
I could say I wanted to learn more about Maori culture when I went to New Zealand. Maori are the native people there. So back to the article, we're wrapping up and talking about Chicago, and we say it has something for everyone.
Have something for everyone， 那就是应有尽有，可以针对不同人的喜好做出变化。
Yeah, means whatever you like, you can get something there that you will be interested in. Let's find out more about this phrase from our Magic Box teacher, and when we come back, we'll be taking part in today's review time activity.
Magic Box。Hello， 大家好，我是 Casey。学完这一课之后呢，发现芝加哥这个城市真是应有尽有，要美食有美食，要艺术有艺术，可以满足每个旅客的喜好。课文里面我们看到这个片语 have something for everyone， 字面上的意思呢，其实是有每个人想要的所有东西，那其实就是应有尽有啊，或者是要什么有什么这样的意思哦。那今天的 Magic Box 就要来教教大家。应有尽有，除了课文里面的片语，还有哪些用法可以用呢？如果你要跟一个人说这个地方有你需要或者是你想要的一切，你就可以这样跟他说 ：This place have everything you need, or this place has everything you want。比如说呢，你今天在百货公司可以买到所有你需要的东西，那我就可以用这个例句来说 ：This department store has everything you need。或者是我们也可以用 have everything from A to B 来表示哦，那就是从 A 啊到 B 这个范围都可以买得到。像是以下这个例句 ：This department store has everything from electric appliances to children's toys。这间百货公司呢，从电器用品到小朋友的玩具都有，意思就是它的范围相当的广，这样的意思哦。那最后呢，我们可以补充一个实用句，就是 you name it，you name it， 意思就是只要你说得出来的都有，选择很多这样的意思哦。比方说呢，你去到美食街，当然是各种食物都可以找到喽。那我就可以用这个例句来说 ：Japanese ramen, fast food, beef noodle soup, you name it, they have it。日本拉面、素食牛肉面，你只要说得出来的，通通都有。好啦，那以上这个应有尽有的说法，大家都有学起来了吗？
Review time.
So after day one of this article, we introduced 3 interesting places you could go in our home cities.
Yes.
So let's take the example of hot dogs with no ketchup and deep dish pizzas, and let's introduce 3 great foods to eat from our home cities. If we were to visit Taipei or Nottingham, what are the must-eats?
Must-eats, you mean great food, delicious food, or special food?
At least stuff that you go, okay, this city is reasonably famous for this food.
Reasonably famous.
Reasonably, yeah. You can get it elsewhere, but here
有
it's
名
kind
的
of
食物
cool.
哦，那就是
Okay.
all different kinds of street foods in night markets.
Okay, you want to pick a top 1 or 2?
Stinky tofu.
Stinky tofu, sure,
臭豆
yeah.
腐，
Okay,
再来那个 pig blood cake，
right.
不然再来一个胡椒饼好了 ，like pepper
That's a pretty good one. Maybe for Taipei, would you put what's the dabing bao xiaobing?
bun。你说那
Cookie
个
inside a cookie or whatever it
cookie
is.
inside the cookie。
Or the sausage inside the
Oh,
sausage.
sausage inside rice sauce.
Yeah,
rice sausage.
That's kind of
大肠包小肠啦。
That's it. That's kind of famous Taipei
对
kind of
对
stuff. Okay, Nottingham. I would say Nottingham has quite a big population of people from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So we have some pretty good Korean Indian style restaurants. I would definitely check those out. I would say you gotta get a chip cob in Nottingham, which is basically big fat French fries inside a bread roll
Yum.
with ketchup and other stuff. Number 3 from Nottingham that is a special food. We don't have that many. British food is not that super famous and special. But we do have a very nice tea room in our big, we have a big shopping centre called the Victoria Centre. They've got a nice tea room there. So why not go and check out their afternoon tea? But, we've got near Nottingham, we've got a very famous pork pie making place. So get a pork pie, Pork Farms' pork pie, and Stilton blue cheese is the kind of county. So yeah, add in pork pies and blue cheese as well.
Okay, you know what? Speaking of deep pizza,
Deep dish pizza?
deep dish pizza, I found one in Taipei. That
Oh.
sounds really good.
Fantastic.
Deep pizza, yeah.
All right, might have to check it out sometime. But that's all the time we've got for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. For A+ English, I'm Pat.
I'm Elsie.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A visit to Chicago, the Windy City. Warm-up question. Which kind of museum do you like best? Art, science, or history? Why?
The Art Institute of Chicago is a museum with almost 300,000 pieces. 2 famous pictures there are Pablo Picasso's Old Guitarist and Grant Wood's American Gothic. Head north on the Chicago L train to Wrigley Field. It's the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team. Beautiful ivy grows on Wrigley Field's red brick walls. Try Chicago's special and delicious foods, too. Deep dish pizza has a thick crust. Try it at Pizzeria Uno or Lou Malnati's restaurants. Chicago hot dogs use only beef and have many toppings on them, but never ketchup. Chicago's a wonderful city for culture, art, sports, and food. It has something for everyone.
Word power. Head. Head. After the movie was over, we all headed to the night market. After the movie was over, we all headed to the night market. Brick. Brick. The big wolf couldn't blow down the little pig's brick house. The big wolf couldn't blow down the little pig's brick house. Ketchup. Ketchup. For a snack, Tracy ate French fries with ketchup. For a snack, Tracy ate French fries with ketchup. culture, culture. There's not much culture in this small town. The city has music and art, though. There's not much culture in this small town. The city has music and art, though.
认识字汇
Ivy, ivy. Crust, crust. Topping, topping.